I think we're live, yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream, and we're gonna be continuing the building of this robot, and today we are gonna be working on the actuators for the lower part of the robot's body. Yeah, so today we are the upper body. For anyone who's been following this journey, the upper body is complete. The connections are made, and yesterday we shot a demo video where the arms were moving. So the upper body is assembled as well as in a working state with all the connections complete, all the actuators complete. Just the hands are missing, but we're gonna handle them towards the end. So with that, we are now focused on the lower body of the robot. So our very first goal is going to be calibrating all of the actuators. So as you can see that we have already taken care of the wiring and connections of each of the actuators. For the lower body, we have almost all. So in total, I think we need 12 actuators for the lower body, for the legs. But we have 11 ready at the moment. And what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to be calibrating these using the PC. So over here, as you can see, we have the NUC PC, Intel. It's in Intel PC, the one that Berkeley team recommended. We have the Ubuntu installed on it with STM32 software, and all of the settings are ready, and we're just gonna start picking actuators one by one, and we're gonna start calibrating them. So yeah, let's I'm gonna first of all open up the software and start setting everything, start making everything ready for calibration. I really wish we were live on Twitch simultaneously, but I didn't get any time to set that up. But we have all of these YouTube live streams available, and I think for all of these episodes I'm gonna do a pre-recorded live stream on Twitch before continuing with these live streams over there as well. We're almost done with the multi-streaming setup, but for anyone who will be joining to see the assembly of this robot, just so they can have some context, or maybe if they want to watch the previous videos, I am gonna upload all of the previous live streams on that platform as well, and from there on we are gonna be multi-streaming on both the platforms. Yeah, so we have given ourselves a pretty optimistic deadline for completing this entire robot and testing the entire robot and creating a demo video of it within the next maybe 5, 6, or 7 days. Yep. So on the off days when we are not doing any live streams, we don't work on this robot almost at all. Like, yeah. So this is gonna be the 12th day where we work on this robot, and pretty much the most of the work we have done on the robot, it is live here on camera. Yep. Oh. How did I get a screw in here in the keyboard? I think it's from here somewhere. Alright, so I have the STM32 Cube IDE set up over here. The very first step I'm going to do is I'm going to change the motor profile. We obviously have the repository cloned from their Berkeley Humanoid Light official documentation, and I have brought this inside of the Cube IDE. But the very first thing I'm going to do here is change the BLDC motor. So over here, if you can see, we are starting with the calibration of M6E12 actuators. So M6, and it's 150 kV. So I'm just going to select that profile from here. This is the 5010, and this is the M6E12 150 kV. The second most important thing is the CAN ID for each one of these actuators. And what I've gone ahead and done before starting this live stream is I have written down all the different actuators that will be used in the lower body of the robot and the CAN IDs that we need for them. So as you can see, 10 upper leg YL, this one needs CAN ID of 1, 11 upper leg ZL, CAN ID of 3, and so on and so forth. So from this table, I'm gonna select the CAN ID of the actuator. I'm gonna plug that in the software and we can start pushing the code inside of this motor driver over here, BLDC motor driver. So yeah, let's start doing this. I'm gonna crimp some wires meanwhile, and then I'm gonna join you on testing everything. Alright, first up we have a CAN ID of 1 and the first time boot up flag also set to 1. I'm gonna make the connections and we'll flash the code. So where do we have the wire? Here it is. And I think for the we should have the wire for the CAN. Yes. Yep, I do have it. Yeah, so just let me free this. Is it okay? So it drops in the frame, so we gotta have it behind here. Okay. So before starting this live stream, while we were getting everything prepared, I was following some Twitch drama with some stuff that happened at TwitchCon, and generally, I mean, it's kind of pretty normal to say every week on Twitch is pretty crazy, but the last week on Twitch was definitely some of the craziest things I've seen on Twitch. But it was so fun to like follow the drama, just watch, listen to the news and updates on whatever was happening there. So just a slight detour. As you can see, we have this small red colored cross on this motor driver. Earlier, when assembling the upper body, we tried using this this motor controller, and we found out that it was sort of faulty. Maybe the software wasn't uploading to it, and this time I have tried, and it's not, the software is not going through, it's not working. So I'm just gonna place this on the side for now. We might have to replace this specific motor controller. So I'll just place it on the side and I'll pick another one. Is it showing the same issue? Yeah. It's not even sort of recognizing. It is recognizing, but failed to erase memory. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on to the next one for now. We'll be flashing this one. Hopefully this one works out fine. So I will connect this. Yeah, so like what was the controversy? Yeah, just a second. Yeah. Yeah, regarding the TwitchCon, it was mainly their security and generally how poor the security was at TwitchCon. But you guys know, if you follow Twitch culture, you know some of the wildest stuff has happened on Twitch over the past week. Including Hassan allegedly zapping his dog, and the other one, it's like the wildest thing I've ever seen. Live birth on a Twitch live stream as well, and I think the whole IRL live streaming section has like every month it finds some new laws. Every month we like collectively fail as a humanity because of this IRL live stream niche. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, and I was also thinking like just listening to the news regarding all this drama and stuff, and just consuming stuff on about YouTube, Twitch. It's like so. Uh, what word am I looking for? It's like so easy to keep consuming this stuff, keep listening to stuff. Sometimes I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, depending upon their taste in news or what they listen to. People will have podcasts in the background, internet drama and stuff like that. This is what I'm usually listening to in the background when working on projects like this. And sometimes it's just like random podcasts like Joe Rogan, Lex Fridman, and but consumerism in this day and age, there is just such abundance of content that if you don't have stuff like that playing in the background, or you're not constantly listening to or following up this stuff, it feels like you're missing out. But if you turn everything off, if you go in the mountains, of course the time kind of slows down, like you're not missing anything. But if you let's say if you're into YouTubing, live streaming, stuff like that, you kind of have to listen to it, and after a while just working on these projects, it starts to become so repetitive that the soldering, the assembling all the actuators, a lot of this stuff in robotics or hardware is repetitive. In software, you constantly have to work on new functions, new classes, new stuff like that. But in hardware, it gets so repetitive that it almost feels like you're refreshing to have something like that, even if it's like some of the craziest stuff you've heard. But it kind of feels refreshing with stuff like that playing in the background. One of our chatters, Reg, he mentioned in an earlier live stream that he hates Twitch, and I kind of understand why he said that statement, especially after last week. I don't know if he knows about that or not, but Twitch is a wild place, man. Yeah, it's a pretty wild place, and I think social media in general is tending to quite slop sort of a content, and that's just gonna I think it's gonna be that way, and that's just how in general these platforms or these things tend to head towards. It's just 90% of slop or very shallow sort of content, and just 1% of very good or great people that you can listen to, you can get inspired by, who have really put in decades of effort and are consistent with their with what they're doing, what they're passionate about. But in general, it's not a very we're finding new laws every day, guys. On social media, we're finding new laws every day. Okay, alright. I think I'm gonna need the CAN USB cable at this point. So the flashing of code was successful with this one. So I was successfully able to flash the code. We're gonna start calibrating this. Thank God, man. So far we only have one faulty motor controller, and let's hope the rest of them don't give errors. And we're trying, we're gonna place an order for more motor controllers. But yeah, if you want to work on this, just in case, I don't think there was anything wrong with soldering or anything, but the motor driver, it still came out as faulty. So if you are ordering this stuff, it's good to have, especially these are not that expensive as well. It's good to have one or two extra when you're ordering this stuff. Hey Reg, hey, how's your day going? How's everything? It's Monday over here, so it's probably gonna be like Sunday there in Canada, right? Yep. You're in you're Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, Reg. Yes, I'm gonna grab the phone to show the update of the upper body. So for anyone just tuning in, we did successfully assemble and test the upper body, and I'm gonna show you a video of that. Yep, and the code the Berkeley team provided, it is for the full body, so we are only able to move one or two actuators in parallel. Yeah, so if you're looking at this video, this is basically one actuator moving back and forth, and we can do this with multiple actuators in the upper body of the robot in parallel. Yeah, but it's a really messy motion, so you don't want to do that for multiple actuators, just zapping them or moving them zapping them back and forth or just so yeah, but we have started working on the lower body, and probably in 1 to 2 live streams we'll have the full body of the robot assembled, and then we'll be able to push the full code for the robot, and we'll be able to move the robot. Yes, it's Sunday. Sorry for missing the last answer. No, all good, all good, all good. I'm really glad to see you spend a lot of time with your family, and yeah, it's hope you're having really good time with your family. It's we were discussing about the some of the degenerate stuff that's happened on Twitch the past week, and yeah, after that we're thinking about taking some time off of the internet, like yeah. Hey, it's totally fine, and family way more important than anything online. In fact, that was exactly what we were discussing a bit earlier. Yeah. That social media in general, it's not a very good place to spend a lot of time at. Real life out there in the mountains, or with family or people that you cherish, or good friends, that's the ideal sort of place to spend your time in. So like that's totally fine. Our live streams are they're basically nothing, so yeah, no worries at all. Glad to see you're spending time with your family. Yep, and regarding the Twitch situation we were discussing, and how some the careers of some people were ruined just because of internet fame and stuff like that. We haven't even looked into or considered the AI slope yet. That's gonna ruin an entire generation of the Gen Alpha, and the it's gonna be so much worse in a coming decade compared to what it has been. And I don't know like what it's gonna be, even like for example, the most degenerate stuff I have ever seen in IRL streaming, like IRL streaming was already like the lowest of the low kind of stuff you could find online, but on Twitch last week someone gave birth on live stream. Yeah, before the baby even came into existence, it was being used as content. And I don't know what kind of degenerate low depths people are gonna fall to use by using AI. Yeah, no. If the AI video content creation, it becomes more and more accessible, more and more realistic, I don't know what slope people are gonna be creating with that. Yeah, no, it's like people tend to rush to something where the effort is low. And there was a quote, I think it was from Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, I don't know exactly which one. I think it was from Warren, and he said, if you take the high road, it's never crowded. And I really resonate with that quote. That's a really good quotation. If you take the high road, it's never crowded. So wherever there is with the internet, it's become, or social media, it's become easy to create content, and people generally tend to rush towards things where there's not a lot of effort, quickly try to make money or rise to fame or these sort of things. And I think AI is just gonna accelerate
Yep.
These
Yeah,
kind of
imagine.
things.
Yeah,
It's gonna become even more easier.
I mean,
More-
social media fame was like, I would say it's kind of a tool to for people to, um, it amplifies the personalities of people. I think I don't. I'm not sure if the people who after becoming really rich and famous off of social media, if there was something the fame got to their head, or if they were always like that. But yeah, internet no, sorry, the AI slope and the AI video content creation, it's like a nth degree amplification of that.
Yeah.
Whatever weird ideas people had in their minds, now they can just write a prompt and generate that stuff.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and social media is not all bad. You have people who are still very careful, humble, down to earth, and very focused, saying no to a lot of bad opportunities that come their way, like Mr. Beast, or staying away from controversies. Even PewDiePie, he has a family now, and he's pretty. Like,
yeah, but they are the minority, right? Like
they're
are,
of course the minority.
and most of the times people like that are not the most famous ones. Most of the
Yeah.
time the most famous ones are the
Yeah,
most
of course.
degenerate ones.
Yeah, but like fame isn't even that like good of a thing to aspire to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Fame really isn't that important at the end of the day. I mean,
I think a lot of these people,
in
they
fact-
start their journeys online when they've never even thought about that. Like they're like
yeah.
such
Initially,
early teenage years, they have no
so, like,
conception of that.
They're just enjoying initially, but then they start making money and they're famous, and now they have to sort of keep it going, and so the artistic side loses them somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
And they get stuck with the money and all of that. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people say that if you're doing YouTube, it should be just for passion. And the second thing that I've heard many people say is that if you're earning from YouTube, you should never rely on that. Never ever.
I
You should have
100% agree with that.
income sources outside of YouTube. Otherwise, your what you're doing.
I mean, YouTube is like such a roller coaster. From I have from what outside perspective I have, of course, at the moment we're not monetized, but from the outside perspective, it's not stable. It's always a roller coaster. You're always encouraged to push more for the content, and every like third or fourth video, even if you're a beginner YouTuber, it will always perform bad. Every now and then you will get a good video, but that's the kind of way the algorithm is set up, so you can keep pushing more and more content out there without thinking it through.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why we wanna keep the service side going as well.
Yep.
Even if we start making $1 million from YouTube, I would still wanna have other things going on. Always.
Yeah, I 100% think YouTube should only be like for passion, for
Yeah.
creating things that you like creating, that sort of
100%.
stuff.
100%.
If you add financial motivation behind that, it can lead you down the wrong path.
You sort of lose the whole purpose of it. Then why are you even doing it?
Yeah.
If you're not there for just enjoying and what you genuinely want to create, if then the purpose just becomes completely different.
Yep. Guys, if you were to become a content creator, or if you were to do YouTube, what kind of a channel would you have? I am interested because I have made like so many different kinds of videos. Sometimes they were drawing videos, vlogs, and hiking videos. And for the past like year and a half, we've been doing AI stuff and robotic stuff. Yeah, now we're at robotic stuff. on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
but I think
we've been around the block,
Yeah,
but most of them were like tutorial videos, and some of them were like vlogs and stuff like that.
yeah, I think our content is gonna be around AI and robotics, both of them. I think both fields will very, I mean, they're already merging with each other. They're very closely tied. So I think our content is gonna be around both of them. But what I'm far more interested in is just finding our voice and creating the ideal sort of content that we genuinely enjoy. So yeah, it's gonna be about both robotics and AI. Can L is the green colored one.
I'm really excited to see how Twitch community would react to robotics videos. Like we have like 12 live streams already that we're gonna push there.
Yeah.
I typed robotics in the Twitch search bar and I got nothing remotely related to robotics.
That's so
in
crazy.
the, yeah, I don't know. There are a bunch of coding live streams though, like ASMR coding and stuff like that. They are somewhat famous.
We need to put these out there.
Yep. So I think we are gonna be the first robotics live streamers on Twitch.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna connect the can.
You know, on Twitch, they like big channels. They tend to do raids on small Twitch streamers, and raids usually mean they bring their live streamers over to your streams. And imagine we are building a robot, or we're working on some actuators or some code, and we get raided by a really degenerate community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting journey on Twitch, but it's just gonna be for an experiment. Like I'm just curious what it's gonna be like, building a robot on Twitch.
Alright, so with that, I think I can now open up the terminal and start the commands. Bring it over here. We are first of all gonna cd into downloads, ls, UC Berkeley Humanoid, ls. Yep, with that we are ready.
Is the ping to the
yeah, the ping is successful, which means that we can now start calibrating the motor.
So we need power for that.
Yeah, we do need power for that.
Okay, so I'm gonna want you to like disconnect this and join these wires.
Calibrate, and the can ID is 1. I would assume. Yeah, the can
let me calibrate this with you, and then I'm gonna move back to soldering.
We just wanna.
Yeah, we need to attach the power.
The white.
Yeah, imagine how much easier it would have.
What's the white one?
I think the white one is the VCC.
Okay.
And the blue one is the ground.
Yeah.
But it would be better if
we confirm.
We could confirm it somehow. Just let me have a look. Yep. So the one close to the USB port is the ground wire.
Okay. And here we go with the black one. Just put a tape on this.
Just a second. Okay.
Alright.
I don't think it's a these are high voltage ones, but I don't think it's a good idea to short these two while the power from the 5 volt is attached. It's not gonna do anything to the board, but still, like, it's a.
So do you want me to take them off?
No. All good now. All good. Okay, so the connections are ready. We are gonna connect the ground connection over here and the voltage connection over here. Now we are gonna try and test this actuator and see if it gives response or not. So we're gonna run the calibration code on it right now.
is not running. Let me try the. Oh, okay. The resource is busy, so we got.
Okay,
Can you disconnect?
okay.
No, okay.
Yeah. So this
Just this
and
one?
and from here as well.
Yeah, both of these.
Okay, I think just disconnect this as well. Yep. Now everything should be good. By the way, I think the direction is gonna be flipped with this.
We can just.
Yeah, the clockwise and the anti-clockwise, it's gonna be flipped in the case of this one.
Still not working, and I think I might know I might know why.
Why is it not working?
The reason is because this one is not blinking at 1 hertz. Can you see that?
Yep.
I noticed it earlier as well, but I was like, I've just finished all the steps. It might work.
So can you try going back through
Yeah,
all the steps?
I'll go through the steps once again.
So far, not even a single motor controller has worked for us, right?
Yeah, but this one is working. It's just not properly calibrated, I think, yet. Oh, so like there's a huge mistake I made in the calibration process. I kept the first time boot up flag to 1. So we needed to do it only once, and after that we needed to turn it back to 0, which I didn't. So I'm just gonna run it once again. Alright, successful. And this time, very important, I'm gonna turn off the. No, we don't.
Red just meant there's a reset command to avoid disconnecting the battery each time. Is there a built-in reset one on this, or is it like a terminal command? There's a built-in reset over here as well. Maybe we can.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I have a look at it? Yep. So it looks like a reset switch. We're gonna try it next time, Reg.
First time boot up back to 0 and ID to 0, config to 0, and yeah, this time alright, this time I'll use a reset button. So it's over here.
Yeah, try the reset button.
No,
otherwise
we do not right now we do not wanna
okay, yeah.
test it. Okay, reset. Even if the reset works, the reset might work, but their documentation, they mentioned disconnecting, reconnecting, which is essentially similar to resetting, but it did work. However, it was successful. So this time I am going to first time boot up to 0, ID from flash 1, config from flash 1, calibration from flash 1. Device can ID 1 first. Okay. Alright, reset once again.
It just says switch, but I'm pretty sure it's a reset switch. Otherwise, it's very rare to see a hardware buttons for input on boards.
It's can you check this?
What?
It's flashing way faster than 1 hertz.
Yep. So I think the amplitude. Did you change? Did we change the amplitude to move the arm?
Oh yes.
So the amplitude should be set to 1.
Yeah.
Probably
yeah,
that's why.
We did that. So like, where will I now find the code? I don't even know if this is the similar repository to that one.
Where did you set the amplitude?
Let me take a look.
I think it's probably pulling in
it's
that
like that was in Berkeley Humanoid Light, and this is recoil motor
but
controller.
just go back and set that back to 1 and try once again, because
Yeah,
I think that's the only
Yeah,
explanation
so
right now. It probably pulls the code from there as well.
this is a locomotion one. We have to test it later.
Yeah,
on.
because we do, in the end we do use that back and forth command, right? While being in the same directory, we do run that command. So it's pulling that value from the other folder.
Yes, we do use it. Oh yeah. Docker.
I'm just glad it started flashing again, because that means this motor controller is not faulty, and once we fix the amplitude, it's probably gonna go back to 1 hertz.
One move actuator.py. Amplitude is supposed to be 1, back to 1.
Yep, it
So
also
we
failed.
changed the amplitude for the testing of our upper body, the arms of the robot, because it was moving, the motor was moving very slow, so we changed the amplitude over here. But now we're putting this back to 1. I don't know if this affects the other repository or not, but for some reason
is gonna affect it.
Yeah, for some reason the amplitude, the hertz speed of this RGB LED which is flashing is, it's way more than what it should be. So let me try this once again. I will do the first time boot once again. Everything else is the same. Okay, Control S, reset, and run. And alright, with that, first time boot up to back to 0, ID from 0, config 0, and calibration 0. Okay, reset. Shutting.
Okay, so it's flashing at 1 hertz now.
Okay, yeah, this time is correct.
Let's go.
This time. Like that was the issue.
W's in the chat.
Yeah.
W's in the chat.
Device can ID 1, first time boot up 0, ID from flash 1, 1, and calibration 1, and we're gonna reset this and run this one last time before we can start testing the calibration. Alright, with that we can open up the terminal and we can start testing the actuator. Okay, yeah, so for testing the calibration we do have to remove the wires, so just the reset button alone is not sufficient, it's not working, so I'm just gonna have to disconnect and reconnect the wires once again. Alright, with that, this over here
Yeah, I think we do have to power cycle the board once to establish the connection with the USB can again.
Alright.
Wow, the motor started rotating.
The calibration is successful, but it's in the opposite direction, so we would have to just
Yeah,
resolder.
so just mark. Let me give you this masking tape. Just mark a directional arrow over here. I'm gonna resolder it once I'm
I
done
will
with
also
this one.
see if this code works. No, it does not work on the M6E12.
So I don't think we have seen a single M6E12 that
Yeah.
has worked. Yeah. So it's probably some sort of power supply issue. That's the assumption we're going with right now.
Because the 5010s, they were working perfectly. So I'm gonna put a name to this. This one is 10 upper leg YL.
This one is upper leg, codenamed Billy.
Upper leg YL. Okay, this one is successfully calibrated and ready. We're just gonna remove the wiring now.
Just remove these connections, and I'm gonna throw.
Can you
them
give?
back.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the CAN USB.
Yeah, I just have one more connection to go. No, while I'm at it, I'm gonna change the direction as well for these. I think I have for 90% of motors I have attached them in the correct orientation, but yeah, we might have issues with one or two of them.
You wanna resolder?
Yep, I'm gonna resolder these.
Okay.
Just grab another.
Now
So for
the thing is, I am not quite sure. Let me take. I don't know where exactly the 5010 actuators are used. There are two in each leg. I think there's two in each leg. But where exactly do they go?
So the community document we talked about, yeah, so they do mention the legs as well.
Yeah, but we do not know which ones are as M6E12 and which ones are 5010.
Yep, that's gonna be difficult. Yeah, these ones obviously look M6E12, so it's either gonna be.
The foot ones are definitely 5010.
I think you can just look at the leg assembly video and figure out from there. That's gonna be our best
Yeah,
bet.
I'll just open it up.
And just open the the skeleton of the robot alongside it, so you can see what the names of those actuators are.
Oh, this is the entire body. We want to check the leg.
And now just so this one is gonna go over here. Yeah, I wish if we had more connectors, all the connections were gonna be like this.
Okay, so the ones that go on the hip are M6E12. Let me just confirm that from the image as well. Okay, yep. Yep, the other one, the next one is also M6U12. I'm just gonna keep writing all of this
Okay,
down.
now I'm gonna change the direction of that other one. There is some issue I'm facing with these connectors over here, but to be honest, I'm not sure what the issue is to exactly over here. Yeah, there's slight issue with the connection over here, but this one is also done. I'm gonna place it to the side now, and I'm gonna change the connection on the other actuator that we just calibrated. Yeah, I hope we can go through calibration of all the actuators in this live stream, because it definitely does take a while. I tried to solder a few connections, especially the motor windings with the motor controllers before this live stream, and I tried to attach power cables to the motor controllers as well, but soldering does take a long time, and you always underestimate the time it's gonna take to solder everything together in your mind. It because it's so easy to do, you tend to underestimate how long it's gonna take to solder everything together. But the time ramped up really fast once I started soldering them, so I just decided to jump into this live stream, and now I'm soldering. We are calibrating the motors that we were able to solder before coming on this live stream, but I'm soldering the remaining connections on the side.
Yeah, I think this one is 5010, the one that just came. So like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one seems 5010. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay, that makes sense. Yep, the last one is also 5010. So I think there's just 5010s on the foot, and the entire rest of the
I just realized
Yeah.
we haven't set a goal for this live stream in terms of super chats or anything. Let
That's
me
fine,
set
yeah.
that up.
Oh, you can set it right
How
now.
long do you think we are gonna be live for? Probably 2 hours.
No. 1 hour, I think.
I think the calibration is gonna take quite some time.
Yeah, a little bit more than 1 hour.
Let's just set it to like 2 hours, and
Okay. What's the time right now?
upper
It's
body
12:38. Right?
demo. Huh?
It's 12:38 over here. Time.
Yep, 12:38.
All right. Okay. The next one is also M6U12. Just gonna
Video.
grab this and start calibration
I mean, it's
for
just
this one.
an error occurred. Maybe it's because of this. why the goal is life. We're already an hour in. Damn, time really flies by.
Yeah. I think once you also come over to the calibration side, I think we'll be able to sprint pretty fast then.
Yep, I think so as well.
Alright, this is the cube IDE, and I will have this open over here. The next one has a device CAN ID of 3. Gonna put this 3 over here. First time boot up is 1 for this. Let's boot this up for the first time. Run. It's gonna check for the latest version. Open in update mode.
I wonder what kind of motion this robot is gonna be able to do once we upload the policy, once we do the training, and we also do need a NVIDIA GPU for that, right? To train the policies.
Yeah.
Reg, I mean, if I want to build it like you did. I don't know if that's a part of a complete. If there's anything else you want to type, or I don't know what you're referring to. Maybe regarding the speed of the build, or I'm not too sure. Or is it's not worth it, it's better to buy it like this? Oh, so you're asking about purchasing the robot or building the robot? I think I if you're asking about purchasing the robot or building the robot yourself, I would definitely go with building the robot. That's why we're doing that, especially because it's not that difficult. It's really easy, and if you try to sprint the whole thing once you have all the parts ready, it's gonna take 2 maybe 3 weeks for you to go through the entire thing, but you will have the knowledge or the understanding of every single joint in the robot. Let's say after that you want to improve a joint, you want to make something more sturdy, you can improve on the design, you can improve on the joints. There are a few ideas I have in my mind, like if I were to build these actuators, 3D print these actuators again, what changes I would be making. So in terms of that, I would go with building the robot like we are doing right now. It also depends upon your objective.
Yeah, so in my case, if I were to give you an opinion, I would like you to ask yourself 2 to 3 questions. First one, which robot is it that you would like to have? Is it the Berkeley Humanoid Lite or the K-Bot? In terms of building both of these, it's going to be quite different in terms of both the cost and the expertise needed. That would be the first question. The second question would be, what's your end goal? So in our case, we basically even aside from this robot, we do offer other industrial automation, robotics, and IoT solutions as well. We're working on these kind of things. So we had a very good learning motive in this as well. So we were like, if we get to work on this along with a partner, we will learn a lot about the insides of the working. And honestly, that was the most fun aspect about this entire. So like that was one of our motive. It was not primarily about the business side of this. um, we took the time to build all of this primarily for learning. So in your case, if your objective is more towards business, if you have a problem that you would like to solve or pitch to someone, then building this time would not be would not get you in a position where you can pitch this to someone very fast. It will take a lot of lead time to build this robot as well.
Yep.
If you have the money to invest it and just get the product, train your own custom policies to solve that problem and provide a proof of concept, in that case it would make much more sense to buy this to save time and get to ramp up the business cycle as fast as you can. So it just depends.
Yeah, really depends upon what you plan to do with it. Because if you plan to do business or raise investment or do some other thing, learning wise, you can do a little bit of learning just by looking at videos, just by looking at how the build is done.
But for the engineering aspect, for the business aspect, you can also just hire someone to code on it, to train policies, because you're gonna be focused on marketing, business, invest, all of those things.
And Reg, I'm pretty sure you understand it way better than us, to the extent that we understand it. But if you are running a business or if you're planning to do a business, it's a really, I would say, bad idea to do everything in the business by yourself. You can try that if you're like a teenager, or if you have enough time or resources on your hand to learn and just play around with things. But if you're planning to get something started in terms of business recurring revenue, you do need help from as many people as possible. You need to find the experts in other domains in terms of social media content and sales, finding investors, stuff like that. If you try to do everything yourself, you're gonna obviously be able to do it, and you're gonna be learning a lot of things, but time wise it's almost impossible if you have a like family and commitments and stuff like that to do everything yourself. So if the goal with this is business or something like that, then I think it's not worth spending time building it yourself.
Yeah, the way to approach a business and the way to become a really good engineer are totally different. And it's like the way to approach a business usually requires a lot of smart decisions. You do not want to get too deep in all of the fields, because as we do have curiosity to learn. It's something that I personally had to learn a while back, that we do have curiosity to master a certain skill set or a craft, go really deep into the fields, but you just end up with a lot of skills, but you're not quite making money out of it. So the way to approach a good business or startup is very different from the way to become a good or skilled engineer. So yeah, it just take your end goal, where you would like, what goals you have, what objectives you would like to see in 1 year, 2 years from now, and just reverse engineer from there.
Yep, it's really easy to get caught up in the learning loop. For example, in my case, there are so many things I learned just because I had a passion for it. 3D modeling, design, and anime illustrations and 2D animations, all of those things I've learned over the past few years just because I really loved making them. They were not paid gigs or anything like that. I spent a lot of time learning that stuff purely because of passion. And same with robotics, I have built so many projects just to learn this stuff just as a hobby. But at some point you have to there's a limit to how many new hobbies you can learn, play around with, have fun with. First time boot up, all of this, config 0, everything is good. Run. I'm not so bad, I could build it. The goal is to make it cheapest possible to make profit. Otherwise, I just need to be a reseller of Unitree. I'm not bad, I could build it. The goal is to make it cheapest possible to make profit. Otherwise, I just need to be a reseller of Unitree. In that case, you would need to go to the build route. Because if you're not involved in the building process yourself, you would miss a million different parts in the building process. In that case, you have to be very close to the building process. So you would need to What's the goal after build, Reg? Like, do you want to build these robots to potentially sell them? If because if that's the goal, then obviously for the very first robot, of course, you need to build it yourself to understand everything, and then maybe I would assume make some sort of pipeline to build all the actuators, as many actuators as possible. And there are jigs, or you can even build them yourself, micro factories that can automate soldering and stuff like that. So maybe put those automation soldering stations or micro factories
I don't understand
at your lab.
why is our YouTube so behind?
I mean, it tends to happen, like just click on the live button. Yeah, it's just yeah. So in terms of building it as cheap as possible, you can spend time making a micro factory for assembling all the actuators together and soldering the connections, and then you can just spend some time putting all the actuators together. Yeah, I mean, this process can be automated to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Especially the soldering and wiring, that kind of stuff. I would assume it's easier to automate that.
Yeah. So just and once again, that's just our opinion. We're just presenting our sort of what we've learned from our experience running a startup or business, as well as sometimes trying to become very good in fields. What I have found is that it's engineering problems are usually not the hardest ones to solve. So for someone who's running a startup, making that startup profitable, ensuring that the problem is good enough that investors are willing to pay you money, or that it stays profitable over the months and you're able to pay everyone, that's a far more difficult problem to solve than just engineering. In my experience.
Yep.
So like it takes a huge amount of effort to start something from ground up. So I'm going to invest 100k in the company. I'm probably going to resell Chinese robots here, but the goal is to create a purely Canadian version, and at the same time I'm learning.
Okay, so
Yeah, once again, from both of the last two comments, what the sense that I'm getting at is that your mind is more towards the business selling, the market side, right?
yeah, I mean, in that case, I think learning wise, only one robot should be decent enough.
Yeah.
But you need to sprint through that phase, if I were to recommend, as soon as possible, because you can at least from the places we've been to, like back in our country and even here in Japan, you can find a lot of people who can put together a robot, but you can anywhere in the world you can find very few people that can build a successful business or company.
Startup that's profitable years after years, or like that becomes one of the best companies in their country within like 5, 6, 7 years or a decade. That's a really long term game, and that it's one of the things that even we did not know when we started, but there really is levels to it that you just uncover with years of mistakes and iterations. And I'm sure that we do not have enough experience as much as you have in the business world, most likely because we're just starting out. But I have found startup or business to be a far more difficult problem, or at least one that requires a lot more attention, that usually you won't find people around that are willing to pay that sort of attention or that sort of commitment to take a startup beyond the winning line, uh, as much as you'll find engineers who can put together a robot. Like that's easily accessible. You'll find tons of people that can do that. So
Yeah.
And once again, it's totally fine to build the.
I mean, yeah, learning is a part of it, but learning about building robot, in my opinion, should be a really small part of it.
Yeah. In
Maybe,
general,
maybe just one robot, or even like skim through the documentation tutorials if that makes you feel like you understand the process. I would say that's good enough.
Yeah, but the far more important questions would be, what's the demand for robots in Canada? How can I get in touch with what kind of problems people in Canada, so like they have in mind that commercial robots could solve them? What can I do to educate them, or like those sort of.
Yeah, or just finding investors, like.
Or just finding investors, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be investing himself initially. Oh yeah, another very good question. Will
I mean,
like
of course.
I'm investing 100K into this. How soon will I get all of this money back? How soon will the business start becoming profitable?
I mean, in Canada, 100K is like nothing in Canada.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah. Reg, I don't exactly know, but I don't think 100K is. You're probably gonna have to find investors, right? Like if you plan on turning this in a business. Yeah, I mean 100K is like.
Yeah, so 100K, and how soon can the company start becoming profitable? How many units would it need to sell to start becoming profitable? And what would be how low of a cost would you like those robots to be at? So like those would be the questions that I would pay attention to, along with of course building the robot. Once again, building the it's totally fine building the robot.
I have a separate question. Reg, do you know CADing or 3D modeling, or have you played around with any of that stuff, or do you plan on? Here in Canada, we have the advantage of having government funding, and I don't plan on creating everything myself. I will have partners or specialist employees.
Yeah, you know what? In just final word summary, Reg, I think you're gonna be fine. From the conversation, I think you have a pretty good understanding of the field, the robotics in general, as well as you have an understanding of a problem and a rising opportunity, and how to what do I want to call it? How to introduce that field or that opportunity inside of Canada.
And and lastly, just one more thing. If you plan on changing the design of the robot or the shape or whatever the look of the robot, then you 100% need to build it at least once yourself. Otherwise, you'll have to open up all the actuators and joints to figure out how everything is put together. But even for the upper body we have built so far, in my head I can imagine how every single joint is attached with the other one, how every single degree of freedom works in the robot. So I have that much understanding of the robot, and I can imagine a few ways of white labeling the design, changing the design, improving the design. So if you plan on changing the design for the Western market, then you definitely need to have that kind of understanding by building the robot at least once.
Yeah, but
How far along are we, like, in,
for some reason it's not flashing.
like, why? Did
No
you?
idea. I did try 2 times.
No, man, we can't have multiple motor controllers not work.
The code is uploaded.
I mean, is USB CAN a part of it or not?
I'm not. I think it's supposed to be connected. Let's just connect it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's connect it.
Yeah, but Reg, in general, from your research so far, do you think there's a lot of demand in Canada for commercial humanoid robots, just for use in homes, or in terms of receptivity of people there? Yeah, we will use ISEC Lab to train the robot and upload custom policies to it, but we are our partner who has his software team, he's gonna be handling all of that. So what our goal is, within the next 5 to 6 days, so like we will try to finish all of the assembly and have the basic motions ready by October 24th. That's our
We
goal.
are gonna be uploading the basic motions or the policies in the robot.
The ones that are in the examples.
Yep. So we are gonna try to move it once or twice maybe, and we are gonna. I think we're gonna do that live on stream.
Yeah.
So you will be able to see if that robot moves or how it looks moving.
Yeah.
Is it raining outside?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but the ISEC Lab, the custom policies or any training, sim to real or simulation.
Is it right?
Yeah, yeah. The ISEC Lab or any custom policies or simulations or training, the software team is going to be doing that. They also have access to NVIDIA GPUs in cloud. They have special access to, I don't know, like what exactly the specs are, but it from the discussion we had, they have pretty good GPUs. They have access to pretty good GPUs.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
we can. Yeah, Reg, I'm gonna try my absolute best to have this computer display on the, what do you call it? Like on the live stream. Like the. I'm gonna try my best to stream whatever's happening on the computer, and then we'll have a separate camera pointed towards the full body of the robot once it's finished. Because once that's done, which will be in 1 to 2 live streams, our entire focus will be on trying to get that thing to move, trying to see how it moves. Is there any clankiness in the joints, or what kind of what do you call it, what's that thing called, is there any backlash in the joints or something like that. So we are gonna be trying that live on camera. And yeah, we has it started blinking or not?
No. I'm running it from scratch.
Okay. Yep. So at that time we'll see the all the training options we have. Initially we are only gonna, there are 2 policies I think that come with their example and their documentation, and I think they mentioned somewhere it takes 2 hours for the robot to train on the policy. and I think we are gonna do the entirety of that on live stream.
Alright, with this, run. Alright, now final.
Is it supposed to blink on this stage or the next step?
I think even at this stage, but let load ID, load config, and load calibration.
No man, like we can't have two motor controllers.
First time boot
Be faulty.
0, everything seems fine. So run this again. Check, this time it is supposed to blink.
But it's not.
It's not blinking. So like this is the third time we've tried.
Yeah, just try to run the motor or whatever if there's an issue with that LED, maybe will. So I'm gonna attach power to this.
By the way, I'm so glad we have this disposable sort of PC, because I'm just entering the password again and again.
Yeah. Yep, I think the soldering voice, there was nothing wrong, so
Can you disconnect and reconnect these again?
we did had to resolder a lot of connections on these motor controllers, but I think there's no issue on that side, because we had a few motor controllers resoldered and they were working just fine. But like, is it?
Can you do both of these? This one is not needed for now.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
No. Oh, it is working actually. Now calibrate and 3.
So do we need to attach power? Yeah, we do need to attach power. Okay.
Calibrate 3.
Yeah, try to run it. I mean, as expected, it's not working because it was not blinking in the first place. Can you relate some sort of issue with that other amplitude code for this one?
The amplitude is fine. First of all,
yeah, I know it's fine, but maybe is the motor the correct one? 6E12. No, in the code. Yep, mad components M6E12.
Yeah, this is M6 and here it's.
Yeah, I mean it's the right one.
I've tried it 3 times. It should have worked.
Okay, let's move on to the next one for now. I'm just remove everything, and yeah, we need to put it to a side where we can later come back and try to debug the issue with this. Just put it to a side.
Okay.
So we have issue with two motor controllers at this point.
It is a cross one.
Let's move on to the these ones are always the scary ones, the 6E12 ones. So far it's these ones that have caused the issues. Black, red, blue, yellow. I think I'm spot on in terms of connections, but let me try and see. Yeah, I mean, let's first try and see if it works or not. Yeah, let's bring in this one. I'm gonna attach the power cables and you can start playing around with this one.
I know it's quite complex and long, but I want to explore the medical aspect or robotic prosthetics, which will really pay off. The humanoid will be a separate part of the company, and I know it's a long project.
And according to studies here in Canada, robotics is booming.
With big companies like Figure 3 or Tesla, my goal isn't necessarily a humanoid. All right. Okay. So your goal is robotics in general, and more so interested towards the medical field and prosthetics. I think it's a very excellent field.
Yep,
I think
it's definitely another field that's gonna be used way more in the future, but it requires a lot of precision, especially in terms of medical robotics. So I think if you are interested in those robots, a SCARA arm or something like that would be a really good option to explore.
yeah, SCARA arm or something. The ones that they use in medical fields, they're still quite different. And then prosthetics is still a very different field. Um, there's a lot of problems in the medical where there are opportunities to create robotics in general. And yeah, I can see that the company will most likely be a general robotics company in the medical niche, and that's a huge, like it's a really huge market.
But so far, all the robotics companies that we know of, they only have like a single product that carries the entire company. The other of all the remaining products are sort of in R&D phase.
Yeah. So like they do have, it's sort of the 80/20 rule.
Yeah.
But the companies, they do have multiple products.
Yep.
However, one or two of their products is obviously
you really need to hone into that one product that will keep the electricity and lights on, and then you can spend a lot of money in R&D on new.
In terms of prosthetics, I don't have much experience in it, but there's one small project I can show, and it's not even a project that we did for some client or anything. It was one that I did back when I was in university. I don't know if I can where would I have the image of it? Do I have it on the website maybe?
Yeah, we do have it on the website.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We should have that on the website.
No, we don't even have it on the website.
Oh man.
Yeah, so like back in university, I did a small prosthetics related project where I built a wrist with 3 degrees of freedom motion. So there was one rotation.
I do have a picture of that here somewhere. I can airdrop it to you.
Yeah, so it was a sort of mechanical wrist that I built back in university, and during that time, my supervisor, who was one of the best people, like one of the best teachers I ever came across. He was a brilliant guy. He had spent close to a decade here in Japan learning about robotics, studying about robotics, and then he went back to Pakistan and was heading a robotics department there, and he was working on many projects at that time. So he told me back then that prosthetics is a very huge industry and you should pursue this robotics and prosthetics. But back then I did not listen to him.
For example, robotic legs to help people walk again after an accident, or for amputees. Yep, it's something that is used way more in like everyday situations than what would one would think. Like I've seen a lot of videos where it's just, even in some of the remotest areas of Africa, they are using very cheap materials to build prosthetics
Yeah,
for
so
people.
I'm gonna be sharing this if you can see it on the screen. This is a robotics, and as a mechanic, it wasn't even a robotics project. It was a 3 degrees of freedom wrist, based off on, so like it was supposed to work with the EMG signals which come from the brain, and it was supposed to work based off on that, but we did not get enough time to work towards the software or EMG part. So we just built a mechanical wrist with 3 servo motors, and with the servo motors you could get all possible motions which a wrist can have. And the arm, this one is 3D printed, just for the demo, but the lab, at the robotics department, they did have a fully mechanically built fist as well, with all of these different degrees of freedom and motions. It had a camera in the center as well, so that was supposed to go on top of this wrist which I made. Yeah, so like back then my instructor did tell me a great deal about the prosthetics market, and it's obviously a very noble cause as well. There's a lot of companies that are working on this. They're making very cheap prosthetics that are just changing lives. It's a really huge market, and it's a really noble cause as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's something I would absolutely love to look into and do
Yeah,
someday. And you don't even need to a lot of like what do you call it, like it doesn't have to be always really high tech sort of arm or leg or whatever. If you start looking into some people that are doing this and that have dedicated their lives into doing this, some of the prosthetics, they are like really bare bones. They only use sometimes they use wood, and only like what's that material, like that's really leathery sort of, that's used to build hand.
Carbon?
And no, not carbon, like hand or skin or something like that. It's essentially just like a glove, and a lot of people are building these prosthetics and giving them to people that are not necessarily the most advanced prosthetics in the world. But yeah, for doing research and development, this is also a really good.
Yeah, robotics and medical in general is a very good. It is a very good niche in general. Oh yeah, it's blinking.
Yeah,
Finally,
thankfully this one
finally,
has started blinking.
finally. Yeah, so like in the future,
Red one, the red plier.
in the future, even we in the future would like to move on to product space. However, we've discussed this before on the live stream as well. We're not really into raising upfront investment. We would like to take it a little bit slow, just like you mentioned. You're taking it really long term, and we want to bootstrap our company mainly from services, from service side, and eventually we want to get in a position where there is an R&D department at the site that is just working on. We have a lot of ideas even at this moment in software domain, in robotics and hardware domain. In both of these domains we do have good ideas, but we want to bootstrap and create a really stable foundations, even if it takes maybe 1 or 2 years to do that, so that way we can keep building on top of that for maybe 5, 10 years, 50, however long it takes. We do want to have a stable foundation
Yep,
beforehand.
that's the idea essentially.
Zero.
That's the idea, yeah.
Every time I have a discussion, I come back to it. I forgot. So like this first time boot up is 0.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I've
it is
attached the
flashing.
USB CAN
It is
connection.
flashing, yeah.
Yep, I've attached the USB CAN connection. Hopefully this actuator would move. And
By the way, Reg, do you know anything about the 3D printing business in general? So it's a small scale business, very small scale. However, a lot of people are running these small scale businesses from their house. 3D printing for different niches, different sort of products. Run this.
I would like to create a full leg prosthetics, much like the exoskeletons we see over the internet, but I need to find a motor strong enough to support the person. Building exoskeletons, it's an entirely different niche that honestly I haven't looked into that much. I've seen some people with exoskeletons lifting really high weights and putting them on shelves or something like that, like they're where they're able to pick up load way heavier than an average human can lift. But I haven't looked into the mechanics of that yet. I think they operate on some sort of hydraulics, or they probably use hydraulics. That's where my assumption is going to be, because I've played around with hydraulics a bit, and you're able to lift so much weight by using hydraulics. I think a lot of robots in Boston Dynamics also use hydraulics.
Yeah, Boston Dynamics robots are hydraulics.
Yeah, so if you need a lot of force, it probably is hydraulics. Yeah, Reg, you can maybe build a mini exoskeleton.
Correct.
Let's go. W is in the chat, and this one has also started. If you can try the other code on this as well, it will probably not work, but it's a good idea to just try. Reg, you can build a mini exoskeleton by using syringes and attaching some pipes and stuff like that to it, and on the other end, when you press that syringe, it applies a lot of force. Oh, that's really strange. It has started to move.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
why is that then?
This is the first M6E12 actuator that we have gotten to move by
by uploading this
code.
Running this script. None of the other ones have.
Yeah,
let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, I would like to create a full leg prosthesis, much like exoskeletons we see over the internet, but I need to find a motor strong enough to. So it is a concern in prosthesis. The weight is a concern.
Prosthesis.
Yeah, so the weight is a huge concern in prosthesis, and the reason is the reason. Look at the reason. So from the point where there is a cut, or where the arm is, the prosthesis is tethered to it, and if the weight of the motor is huge, I mean, I'm not showing it over here, but like from the point of the cut, the prosthesis is tied to that part, right? And if the weight of the motor or the structure is heavy, if a person is wearing it for, let's just say, 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, as long as he is awake, over time it really pulls this part off, and there's bruises and there's swelling at this part. So the weight is really important. And if you go for smaller motors which have really strong torque, it's gonna add to the expense. If you go for materials which are very lightweight, like maybe carbon fiber or some other material, that's also gonna add to the weight. So yeah, it's you really have to find cheap.
Wow, Register. Actually, I'm an analyst programmer. I have a Prusa and an X1 Carbon. I am currently doing advanced training in AI at college. I was born in a garage. My father was a mechanic, so I have experience in mechanics as well. That's like a Tony Stark CV if I've seen one.
Yeah, you're Tony Stark, Reg.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a perfect combination of skills to be in this field. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I did not know programming at all about maybe more than 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years before 2 to 3 years ago, I did not know programming at all. So,
yep. And regarding like the robots that we have built and the projects that robotics related projects that we have worked on that are live on the channel. At least like I used to play around with robotics a little bit while I was at university, but it was nothing serious. I tried it just a little bit as a hobby, but most of the projects that are live on my channel, most of the robots we've built, they have only been like in the past 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for Tony Stark, but less Richard Lowell. But yeah, the and hopefully without the criminal history of Tony Stark as well, right? He used to be have some criminal background, and he used to be a felon before the contract was offered to him, the Marvel stuff. Yeah, but the riches are gonna come. Yeah, in real life you have to build stuff before getting rich, while in the movies it's kind of reversed. Okay, so I think Ali. No, the orientation is gonna be the right, but let's just deal with all these big actuators, these stupid big actuators. I'm gonna make all the connections for the USB can and. But it's a pretty interesting thought that with the kind of skills that Reg you have and that we have, we can make these sort of skills in robotics or even programming and AI. There are infinite problems to solve in across different niches, and you can easily come up with ideas that can maybe over the 5 years or decades make millions of dollars. And it's not even that difficult. It's the problems exist in every single niche. It's a pretty interesting thought. You do have the right skills. If I were super rich, I would hire you both. Lol, yeah. Reg, I think you have to hope on that Twitch bandwagon to try to get rich. I think in this day and age to get rich quick, that's the route I'm afraid you gotta go down on. Maybe you should consider doing 24/7 IRL streams and crazy stuff on Twitch before trying robotics. Yeah, real life Tony Stark. @real life Tony Stark. On Twitch. Live Monday through Friday IRL. Building robots. Yeah, I mean, and no one's gonna wait. The younger generation just does not have the patience for it. Yeah. Earlier we were discussing I have tried to see any robotics related stuff on Twitch, but I had no luck. There's nothing on there remotely related to robotics or hardware development. Yeah, and to be fair, if we were to try that, most probably I think it would be really difficult to find any person who's interested in that. Like you have Call of Duty and games right next to the robotics live stream. Most people are gonna jump over there, Minecraft and that, Yeah, but we're just doing it for fun. Yeah. So just so I was mentioning earlier that with the skills you have and the problems that you and us obviously can solve, there are problems which exist in every niche which can be scaled to $1 million, and I bet there's like tens of thousands of those problems. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting thought to have, to find a gap which you're really passionate about in a field, offering the solution and just sticking with it and ensuring that it gets out in the world and eventually scales up. So like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, it could make a huge difference.
both of these fields are pretty exciting, and I think there's gonna be new and new trends, or forget even about the trends, just gaps or solutions where problems can be solved which were just not possible before AI or robotics will emerge. And I think yeah, if one is working in the field in any niche, he should be able to spot that within like a couple of years.
Yep. And yeah, Ali, can you start attach this and start like calibrating this? I think the skill set Reg brings to the table, it has one uh, sort of what do you call it, like pitfall that you have to avoid, which is to try everything.
Yeah.
And we were also talking about this in an earlier live stream, how we sprint through the project solely because over time you tend to lose the motivation or drive to continue on that project, just because there are so many other possibilities that you kind of
Shiny object.
shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
You just keep finding these new and interesting emerging technologies, fields that you feel like you need to learn like right now. And even in something as narrow as robotics related only to hardware, there are so many different fields, and if you are trying to build some sort of business or solve some sort of problem, you have to spend a lot of time in that field to understand all the ins and outs of that field, to potentially be able to offer a solution, compelling solution sometime in the future. So you need to really marry your niche for the time being, otherwise you're gonna jump all around working on different robotics related projects, and you won't have mastered any single field or niche. So if, for example, in terms of humanoid, locomotion is the biggest issue, locomotion and like the general navigation, whereas in like medical field the biggest issue is gonna be precision, and a lot of AI is gonna be involved in there as well. But each field is like so much different.
The skill set is not knowledge is not rare. Knowledge is everywhere on platforms. One can go and learn coding, robotics, pretty
It's
much anything.
blinking at 1 hertz.
Yeah, there's courses for everything, and one can.
I'm gonna connect this now. Okay.
Learning or knowledge is not learning. So knowledge is not rare.
Knowledge here in my garage.
Yeah, skill set is not rare. There's a lot of people that can code and build things. The opportunity, the skill to to figure out the gaps in the market, identify problems that are very practically viable, and then going out and building a team to solve that problem and sticking with that for a couple of years, that's rare. That's what's not easy to do.
I think we're gonna have the next motor calibrated really soon. The next actuator. Let's bring it in view over here.
Shutting down. Okay. Is it blinking?
Yep, it's blinking.
Cannot find.
Okay, so I needed to attach it. Okay, now you can try it.
Calibrated. This is the fifth one.
Avoid the funds. I would buy the motors and actuators. I believe that in 1 year we could have a functional humanoid capable of walking. Eno could continue to do lives and promote the robot learn. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to promote this.
Yeah, of course, Reg is gonna sponsor us, right?
Yep.
Reg, of course.
In the next live stream, should I prepare the script? This video is sponsored by Reg. we're here in Shibuya. We're gonna walk our robot around on the Shibuya crossing, get some reactions from people, and now I'm gonna take some time to shout out my dear sponsor, Reg.
Okay, this one is also moving really good.
Awesome. Okay, so one more actuator done. Having the funds, I would buy the motors and actually believe that. Yep, so this one is also good to go.
I'll just
And-
grab a piece of tape. I'll write the name of it.
I think marketing something, it's not that difficult. Yeah, it's really easy to market the product if you have, especially if you are trying to.
Marketing is not difficult. Avoiding the shiny objects and staying true to the process of marketing for multiple months is difficult. Repetitive, boring tasks for a long time. That's difficult.
I think, like, let's say we have the money, and let's say we are trying to sell this robot as our own project. Marketing it is like so easy. Just get the robot to do skydiving or something.
Right?
Like it's gonna bring in some real eyeballs to the project.
Yeah.
But that is if you are selling this robot as your own product. You just there are like so many crazy ideas you can try, some wild ideas that you can do that are not quote unquote degenerate or something like that. There's a lot of viral stuff you can do if you have a working robot as your own product. But the other thing is, if you are trying to market to investors, I have no idea about that, and I don't think it's a good route to go on to. But if you're considering that,
I think it's a necessary sort of route, because humanoid robotics in general is a very big scale business, and especially if you want your robot to be the best in the world and attract the best talent, then it's sort of a necessity. Yes. Reg says hey lol, so he essentially agreed to the sponsorship proposal.
yeah, okay, so I think we should buy tickets for Dubai.
Yeah.
Take this robot there when we're 60,000 feet high in the sky on the plane, and when we open up the door, we're gonna shout out this sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
And we're gonna kick the robot and have him come down to the ground.
Upper leg. Upper leg XL. Okay. This one is also done. Just gonna put this on the side. Move on to the next one.
I think we're gonna take this robot out if the locomotion code is somewhat successful. If the policy we run, if it like if the robot even tries to move, I'm definitely taking this thing out in the park or somewhere where there are a few people or kids just playing around, and just like the Squid Games robot video I made, I'm gonna be making a video for this as well. Taking this robot out in the public, seeing how they react and stuff like that. You know, we took one robot. That was a. I don't wanna exactly mention the exact code we were testing on that robot, but it was sort of a Roomba, you can call it. Yeah, we were testing that out in the park, and there was this option to control that robot using a mobile phone. If you have a working product and the marketing and the hype is good, you will attract investors much like the keyboard guys. Yep. That's what I was saying. Yeah, if you have a good product and you keep working on the product and putting it out there, the investors are gonna come your way. Otherwise, I'm not the biggest fan of trying to impress investors or trying to present, so to speak, to investors to try to get some funding. You need to believe in your product so much that either the investors are gonna come to you, or you're gonna market your robot so much that you'll be able to sell it as your own product. So yeah, I 100% agree with you, Reg, on that. Yeah, so I was saying the robot we took out in the park, a few kids gathered around the robot, and they I offered them to move the robot around using a mobile phone, and those kids, they did the most ruthless stress testing for that robot for us. They moved that thing, they made the robot do laps around the park, and it was such a rigorous testing, but thankfully our robot survived it. Yeah, they did it till the battery ran out. Yeah. And it's stupid to say, but the look of the robot is important for the hype. No, 100%. I either the look or the actions of the robot. Like the Boston Dynamics robot doesn't have that kind, but he can do backflips and stuff like that.
Like you wouldn't want to have Terminator like robot in a household. Like people would definitely not be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, comfort or in general, the feeling that it evokes, because human beings are very receptive to feelings. So that's why Steve Jobs or like Apple paid so much attention to detail on the design part. It has a very humanly sort of not humanly, but like in general they're very beautiful products. The design is very beautifully made. Human beings do have a sense where they very they judge a thing just by its looks. Let's just say that.
Yep. So we agree with you, Reg. We can't put a Joe Biden's face on the robot. It's not gonna work.
I'll disconnect this. And
I'm attaching the can connections
yeah,
now.
it's almost ready. Human beings do have it in their nature, where they most definitely, they judge a product just from the first look. The first looks. How does the saying go?
Imagine if a humanoid version of Joe Biden runs for president again in the next decade, and the Democrats, they make it sort of a, honoring our past greatest presidents sort of stuff. So it's trained on the entire all the data set of Joe Biden. That's a wild idea.
Can ID is 7 for this one.
Oh, I have to attach the power cable connections. Where are the power cable wires?
Yeah, so I did this job for a while at a software company, in a software house, and part of the training, it was a 1 month training period, was in that they trained me a little bit on the design part, and they had different colors, and I don't exactly remember all of the colors, but they had a document on how the colors evoke certain feelings. So like black one was black and white, or black and golden was used to give a bit of a premium look or professional look. Black, red evokes a feeling, blue evokes a feeling. So like human beings are very receptive to the look or a sense or feel of the product or thing.
Are you trying to say human beings are racist?
So like human beings,
it's bigger than black and white, guys. It's bigger than black and white.
So are you? Yeah. No.
No.
We don't wanna get banned.
No, I mean it's like a good the anti-racist slogan.
Yeah.
It's a slogan to say that DEI sort of.
Okay, this one is working fine. And now move actuator. Okay, this one is also moving. So great. Another one is calibrated. Let's just put this on the side. Take this off. Take this off.
We I don't think we have ever typed anything in the chat before. I'm gonna say yeah. The Crimson devs. I think we have to
Change that.
Yeah, we have to change that. That is so off-brand.
Yeah, so like that was the software work that we our work with that was primarily focused towards the software side before we moved on to Made by Robot, which is a bit more cool name per se.
Yep, I think we will have to change the name.
Crimson Devs.
Yeah, Crimson Devs is not the. Yeah.
Okay, the 7 one is 13 lower leg XL. 13 lower leg XL.
We have 2 more 6C12 actuators to go through. So we better hurry up with this. Yeah, so the connections are not the best ones with the most perfect
13
for
lower leg.
this one. I do hope these two are connected in there some way, but we're gonna try and fix that if that's not the case.
Alright. Make the next connections. I'm gonna start flashing the code. This one is now 11. Oh, okay, so like I'll move on to the right leg then, because it's M6E12, right?
Yep,
I'll
6C12.
move on to the right leg then, okay.
Okay.
This one is done, this one.
I'm gonna make the USB CAN connections and then I'll attach the power cables.
First time boot up flag to 1. And run.
Okay. Let's.
Alright, first time boot. How long, how many days is it gonna be raining here?
I don't know, but yeah, it's if it's not already really cold.
Yeah, I think after these rains, it's gonna get cold.
Yep. I think we're way past the like summer or the warm days. some days it tends to get unbearably cold out there, even though like we're halfway through October, and it was expected to be a comparatively warmer month here in Japan, but it turned cold real quick here.
Device can ID, and all of these flags are correct. Okay.
Generally, it used to get real cold here in October, but for the first half of October, generally the weather was really hot, especially the first few days of October. And it's from what I've heard, it's the first time it has happened in a really long time. So yeah, it's the global warming and stuff. It's definitely having impact. If you
Yeah.
don't believe me, ask Trump. He believes in that stuff.
Yeah, last time it was pretty famous with Mount Fuji as well. That for a very long time after summer, the snow did not start appearing on its top. So that was also it was in the news all over here last
Okay.
year. This year as well.
Okay,
I'm
you
not sure.
can.
I'm not sure if there's snow on Fuji right now.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it in a while now. Yeah, there are a few groups on Facebook and stuff that all upload pictures of Fuji, and that kind of track these things when the first layers of snow start to appear on the mountain.
We'll need to
We have 5 more to go after this, and let's hope only 2 of the motor controllers so far have been faulty. I mean, 2 is also like a bit too much.
remove all of them, even that one. Now plug it in again.
I think if it does not work, maybe we'll have to.
It's supposed to work. Can is this time it's 2.
Do? Okay.
Oh, I did not change it over here.
Okay.
It's my bad.
Yeah, you can just upload the code again.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, we don't have to like reset it or anything. You can just upload the code again.
First time boot up 1. Resetting this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have 4 or okay, so like this one 5010 as 2, 1. 2.
Yep, it has started blinking. It's not in the view. If I can move it slightly ahead and move this out of the way. Yeah, I wanted to go to Kombini, but it's raining outside. And it's raining like cats and dogs. It's not even like just a drizzle.
Okay, let's
Remove both of these.
remove. Okay, I'm gonna attach this one again. I have to go. My wife is asking for me. I have a good day, guys. Your project is moving. I can't wait to see the legs. Awesome. Take care, Rich, and enjoy your time. Yeah, we're gonna be sprinting on this thing, and hopefully in 1 or 2 live streams we're gonna have the full body ready. During this week, I'm pretty hopeful we're gonna do a live stream on the entire body. So yeah, looking forward to showing it here on the live stream, and we'll discuss the policies and the way the robot moves and everything on the live stream. So
Awesome. Have a good one, Reg.
have a good
Yeah.
one. See you. Take care. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I have attached the power, and yep, it has started to move. Let's go. But it's just moving. Oh yeah. So this is the calibration. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, and the other one, run it. Yeah, so all of these M6C12 actuators have worked.
The thing is,
That's like so strange.
is it that the magnets are very attached in a very good way? There was one that was not receiving the commands, and from all of the magnets that I did attach, there was one where I really messed them up.
I
would
don't
like
know.
to-
So
I would
so
like to-
that problem will start to appear once we have let's say
Yeah,
attached all
yeah.
of them to the body.
True.
Then we can simply remove those limbs and we can fix that problem.
No, yeah, but that problem should start appearing once we upload the code. But even the red light is not blinking. Once we
Yeah,
calibrate,
oh, in that one, yeah. I mean, of course, that motor controller is faulty. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have five more to go.
We'll just quickly sprint through the 5. And I think, yeah, it's almost time to call it a day. Let's just quickly do them.
Yeah, let's just like sprint through the remaining ones, and yeah, just quickly write them. I'm getting this put together. After that, I'm gonna go to Combini, bring something to eat, and yeah, after that, tomorrow we have a long day, man. Tomorrow is like, yeah, it's messed up. It's a messed up day.
Upper legs that are, and it's 4. I'm gonna set it to 4. First time P1, and where's the wire?
Just like move this in the frame, the motor and the driver. Yeah, after that we have the 5010 ones only, and
We'll do that later.
no, we're gonna finish them right now because we are working on this, so better to get them finished. But I think I'm slightly more hopeful with those
Okay.
in terms of calibrating them.
Why don't we have any more?
What?
Oh, so like 2, yeah, okay. 2 M6 are faulty.
Yep. No, 2 M6 were faulty.
Yeah. That one is faulty and one is not blinking the LED. Red LED.
Like, what do you mean by we already have one?
On which there's a cross.
Yeah, the red cross.
Yeah.
And that's like a 5010, no?
No. That's M6. Okay, so you attached that one on the M6 here because I was planning on attaching it to a 5010, so we could start building the, what do you call it? Yeah, so we'll just have to wait for the new motor controllers to arrive now to start building the. How expensive are they? Maybe we can also place an order for one or two of them. We can just keep them at our lab.
No
Just in
idea.
case. I think they are like 3,000 or 4,000 yen. I think. Let me just check how much they cost. Oh, no way. They're
3,000.
yeah, it's 3,000 for a single. And what's the like estimated arrival time if we order it? So okay, so you want me to, can you cut the masking tape? Yeah, I think we can also place an order for them, and we can have the team order it as well. Yeah, because if we are to move this robot, if we are to play around with this robot, we're gonna need them as soon as possible. But also tomorrow we are probably gonna spend a lot of time only on the like study and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we are gonna have to go through this second part of the book at least twice. Yeah, at most I think at most as well, definitely. And yeah, at most, and then we'll just have to go through a lot of examples. Yeah, especially the questions with the options.
Which one is this? It's the four. This one is
Why is it rotating so fast?
I think the encoder, we will need to
What?
correct again.
What do you mean by?
Like it's supposed to do like this, right? But it's just moving in one direction and increasing speed in that, and increasing the position in that. I think it's just the magnet is attached incorrectly inside.
Okay.
Yeah, we can maybe.
Let's try that. Okay, let's debunk that theory. I mean, let's try doing that. Okay, we don't have any active connections right now. We can just disconnect this, bring in the this group. Yeah, just be careful with not to drop it in there. Let's just have a look at the magnet. Yep, so there is a lot of glue on there.
Yeah, like I mentioned.
It's not supposed to be a problem, I think, but
it is.
yeah, I mean it kind
We'll
of
correct this later on. Let's just place it on the side.
But have you like written the name of and everything for this?
We'll just place it over there.
Okay, just yeah. Let me.
You can also give me a. I'll just circle it over here. Circle.
Okay.
Okay. Magnet. Yeah. Magnet. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you can just place it onto a side over there, and I'm gonna bring in the next 5010 actuator. So we only have 4 of these actuators to go through, and after that,
I'll first of all do these, so 1 foot will be complete.
yep. Okay, and after that we're gonna do the other ones.
This one has a device CAN ID of 11. And first time boot up is 1.
Yep.
And the motor is this one. 11, 1. And yeah, this one is also ready.
Okay, like in terms. Okay, so in terms of flashing the motor controller, right? Yeah, I'm gonna make these power cable connections and then I'm gonna do the CAN cable connections. I think we can just end the live stream over here and we can test the remaining actuators and call it a day.
Yep, it's not even gonna take that long, so
Yep.
yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for watching up to this point, and we only have 4 of these actuators to calibrate, and after that we're gonna call it a day. So if you've been watching the live stream and if you've commented in the chat, thank you so much for supporting this live stream and viewing it. After calibrating these 4 actuators, the next step should be assembling the legs of the robot, and we are gonna wait on the new motor controllers to arrive because 2 of the motor controllers are faulty. So we need those motor controllers to continue with the assembly of the robot. And yeah, hopefully in the next live stream we are gonna start putting the lower part of the robot's body together. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, we're gonna call it a day over here. Take care everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.